Okay guys, so we'll be starting in a minute. We'll be starting at 8:10. Let's wait for few more minutes for the other people to join the session, and we'll start at 8:10 guys. And guys, today is the very important session, so I would suggest to all of you guys to please be very much attentive to this session, because in this session you are going to learn really important things, and these things are really going to play a very important role when you will be building a project, right? So I would say, please stay attentive and responsive in the session. Yeah guys, till then, can you guys share the session? Can you guys share the session in respective group in which you are in, guys? Can you guys share the session? Okay guys. Okay, so we'll one more minute. We'll start at 8:10. We'll start at 8:10. Okay guys, so let's start the session. But before we'll move on to the new topic, like I'll recap the concept that we have already understood in the previous like lectures, right? So in the previous lecture, what we have covered is that we know how to be firstly thing the very first thing that we understood was the box model box model, right? Hope you guys would have like uh, cleared with this concept box model. Then we show how we can style lists. Then we show how to style tables, how to style tables, right guys? Then we saw uh, yeah, actually we have covered till here. We have covered till here, and now we have to move like ahead of these things. Move ahead of these things. Yeah, guys. Yeah. So, do you guys have any problem to understand any of these concepts? Let me know in chat so that we could discuss those things, or otherwise we'll move ahead to the next topic. If you guys have any problem to the box model, put that into the chat, and I'll definitely be answering to all your answers. And if you guys have any query to how to style lists or how to style tables, do let me know in chat so that we can discuss those things, and we can like move ahead. Yeah, guys. Yeah. So I'm considering that none of you guys have any doubt. None of you guys have any doubt. But yeah, in case any one of you have any doubt, do let me know in chat at any time, and at the end we'll be discussing those doubts. Okay, guys. All right. So today's concept is very important, as I already have told you guys. Okay. Yeah, guys. Okay, so let's move ahead and understand some more concepts. Okay, so today we are about to learn The very first concept that we are about to learn is that cascade. Cascade. Now, what is cascade? What is cascade? Guys, listen very carefully. Listen very carefully. When it comes to CSS, this term cascade refers to the process of determining the final styles that should be applied to an element when multiple conflicting styles rules are present. Let's say you are having a h1 element in which you are having some content, and then you have a closing tag of h1, right? Now let's say you write some css. Let's say you write some css. Let's say you write some css in a style tag, right? And again, obviously you have to close it, right? In the style tag, you are setting the color of this h1 on first as blue, and on second just below to the below to this like css, you are setting the color of this h1 as yellow. Now guys, as I already have told you, CSS refers to the process. Cascade is nothing but it is you can consider it like a process. You can consider it like a process which determines which style should be applied on a element. Like if you would see, now I am having two style like this for color. This which is saying that like color should be blue, and I am having another style for this h1 which is saying the color has to be yellow. Now you guys tell me which CSS will be applied to this h1 element, guys. See, this is something that will be decided by the cascade. This is something which will be decided by the cascade, that which CSS should be applied on this h1. So this cascade do nothing, it is just a process which determines which style should be applied on an element on final, guys. So you can say the CSS cascade is a set of rules that dictate how styles are prioritized and resolved, right? If you would see over here, we are having two styles over here. So which style out of these two style, which style will be prioritized and will be resolved at the end and will be applied on this h1 element, right? So obviously like in this case the css or the style which is on bottom, guys, that will be applied to the element. Or you can say that the like css which is written on last, if you would say this is like on first, and then you have this style. So this style is on last, so this will be applied to the h1 element, guys. Now we have some set of, you can say properties by which we actually decide that which style will be applied to the elements, right? So the very first is specificity. Guys, please be very attentive. This is these concepts are really important for you to understand. So in CSS, each selector has a specificity value. Each selector has a specificity value. The more specificity a selector is, the higher its specificity value, right? The more specific a selector is, like what I'm trying to say is that जिस भी सेलेक्टर को आप जितना लाइक अच्छे से स्पेसिफाई कर सकते हो, like when you are selecting an element, let's say this h1 is inside a div, this h1 is inside a div, right? Now if I am selecting this directly by a element selector h1, element selector h1, right? So probably this would not be in action if I have two like same selector. But what if I would say this div is the child, sorry, this h1 is the child of div. Now this selector would have like the more specificity, and this style would be in action, guys. Let me show you on like Visual Studio Code. Let me show you on Visual Studio Code, guys. Let me show you that on Visual Studio Code. Just a second, guys. Let me open it. Yeah, so it has opened now, and let me create a new folder. Let me create a new folder in root of this folder with day 14, right? In this day 14, let me create an index.html file, and inside this HTML file, let me like firstly have my boilerplate code to this. Just a second, guys. Yeah, so my file has been opened, and let me write a boilerplate code first. To write a boilerplate code, you already know what to do. Just type exclamation and hit enter. Yeah, guys. Let me like what I'll be doing in this session is that I'll be writing CSS in the same HTML file inside the head tag. Inside the head tag, I'll be using the a style tag, and inside the style tag I'll be writing my all CSS, right, which is needed. Yes, guys. Yeah. So guys, if like let me have a div, and inside my div let me have a h1, and let me write a content I am h1. Yeah, and I'll save it. Let me go live first. Yeah, guys. If actually live server is taking time to get it started. Just it has been started, but it's not showing. Just a second, guys. Yeah, it has started. Yes, guys. Yeah. So let me do some let me make you understand with the specificity. If I will select h1, and if I will change its color to blue. Yeah, guys. See, the color has been changed to blue. Now if I will change its color again to yellow. Now guys, tell me what would be the color of it? Blue or a yellow? Obviously guys, जो लास्ट में होता है उसकी स्पेसिफिसिटी ज़्यादा होती है, राइट? जो लास्ट में सेलेक्टर होती है ना, लाइक द लास्ट में जो सेलेक्टर होती है ना, उसकी स्पेसिफिसिटी ज़्यादा होती है, एंड दैट इज़ वाई ज़्यादा स्पेसिफिसिटी होने के कारण उसकी अंदर जो भी मतलब लाइक CSS लिखी होती है, दैट इज ओनली यूज टू बी अप्लाइड टू दी लाइक h1. बट वॉट इफ आई विल स्पेसिफाइड दिस h1 एज div के अंदर जो h1 है उसको कंसिडर करो. Again, nothing has happened. Now if you would see like if you will hover on a selector, you will get to see that the specificity of this selector is 011. But if you will go on to it, and if you will see, the specificity of this is 001. Yeah, guys. Yeah. So I already have told, the more specific a selector, आप जितना ज़्यादा इसको क्लियर करोगे कि आपका जो सेलेक्टर है वो किस लाइक आपका जितना ज़्यादा स्पेसिफिक सेलेक्टर रहेगा, ठीक है, जितना लाइक मतलब आपको ये आइडेंटिफाई करवाएगा कि या दिस इज द एलिमेंट दैट आई वांट टू सेलेक्ट, उतनी ज़्यादा उसकी क्या होगी, स्पेसिफिसिटी होगी, राइट। Actually guys, specificity is calculated based on the number of id selector, yeah, class selector and element selector within a rule, right? Yeah. But what if I want this blue to be in action? What if I want this blue to be in action, guys? For that we have another thing that we call important keyword. If I will use important over here, automatically the specificity of this will automatically be increased. Now you would see this is 0 1 1, and for this is 0 0 1. If I will save it, one second guys, one second, let me yeah, if you would see, now this is now the specificity of this selector is 0 0 1, and the specificity of this is again 0 0 1. Both of this selector has the same, this selector has the same specificity, but on the first one is in effect. The very first one is in effects. Why? I told you that the last selector used to be in action, used to be in effect, but over here the first one is in effect. Why? Because of this important keyword, right? Guys, if you have to increase the specificity of an CSS, you don't have to do anything, just use this important keyword and those CSS would be applied. Actually by using the important keyword, you are increasing the specificity, or you are telling the browser to consider this style on priority, yeah guys, on priority, yeah guys. So let's move ahead and understand something more. Another we have source order. Let's say guys, if we have two rules which have the same specificity, the rule that appears later in the styles take precedence. Already I have told you. If I will remove this important keyword, and now if I will save it, guys, can you see the specificity of this selector is 0 0 1, and specificity of this selector is again 0 0 1. So both of these selector have the same specificity. So now whenever two selector have the same specificity, then the source order rule says that the style appears later in the style sheet. The styles that appear later in the style sheet takes precedence, and this is known as the last rule bin principle. Last rule win principle, guys. Yes guys, this is known as last rule win principle. The CSS, both of these CSS have the same specificity, but the CSS which is appearing on the last, the CSS which is appearing on later, on last, that will be in effect, or you can say this selectors CSS will take precedence over the other CSS, and this we called a last rule win principle, because the last the selector which is on last, that will be applied, guys. Yeah. And the another thing that I have that I make you understand, guys, that this, if I will save it, now you would see that blue has been applied to the H1. This color blue has been applied to this H1, right guys? Why? Because this important declaration attached to a style rules gives its high priority. It gives its high priority that this has to be in, this has to be applied to the element. this has to be applied to the element. Or whenever you will be writing a important keyword with any properties, with any properties and its value, it overrides the normal specificity on source order. Each override. What basically this important keyword do over here is that for the like source order principle, or you can say the last rule being principle, this color yellow has to be in action, this color has to yellow has to be applied to this h1. But with this important keyword only, this blue color is being applied to this h1. Why? Because this important keyword overrides the normal specificity and source order. Right guys, are we clear guys? Are we clear? I would suggest guys follow any resources and as much practice as you can on this specificity wala part, or you can say the cascading wala part. Right guys, do some more practice on this cascade concept, because this is really important guys. This is really important. And if you guys have any problem, put that into chat and I will be more than happy to answer all your doubts guys. Yeah, guys, are we clear guys? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now let's add some more. We have something we call inheritance. Third, we understood the important keyword, important declaration. The fourth one is inheritance. Now what is inheritance? Guys? Some properties are inherited from parents elements. Obviously we know that when if I'm not giving any color, let's say I'm not giving any color, if I'm not giving any color to this h1, you can see the color by default is black. This color by default is black. From where this h1 is getting, from where this h1 is getting this color black, from where this h1 is getting color black. Guys, this is something we call inheritance. So in inheritance, some properties are inherited from parents element to their child by default. If you would see over here, then if I have removed this style whatever I have written, then by default the color of the text in body tag used to be black. That is why you can see that this h1 is the child of this div, and div is the child of the body. So I haven't given any color to this div, so it is inheriting the color from its parent, which is body, and again the default color of the body is black, and this h1 is the child of div, and this div has the default inherited color value as black, and this is why this h1 is inheriting color as black. So you can understand it like the inheritance is nothing but some properties are which are inherited from parent elements to their child by default. It is something that happens by default.